Hello everyone, I am Mauna Narvani. In this video, we'll be studying the third type of branching statements, that is nested if-else. So we have seen two types of branching statement. The first one is simple if statement. It was suitable when we had only one choice. The second type of branching statement is if-else, and it is suitable when there are two choices. That is, you're going to select one out of two alternatives. Now coming to the third type, that is nested if-else statement, which is a multi-way selection. This is suitable when there are more than two choices. That is, you are going to select one among many alternatives. Nested if-else consists of if-else control statements within another if or else section. That is, we are going to embed if-else statement within a if block or a else block. Let's check the syntax. So the syntax of nested if else is if the condition 1, if the condition 1 is true, then we are going to enter this first if block, where within this if block we are going to check for one more condition 2. If condition 2 is true, then the statements within this if block are executed. Otherwise, if condition 2 is false, then the else part is executed. If condition 1 is false, then the control directly comes to the else part, where within this else part we are going to check for one more condition 3. If the condition 3 is true, these statements within the if block are executed. If condition 3 is false, then the else part is executed. Either of the one block is executed, and then next the program continues from statement X. So let's be more clear what happens when each condition are executed. So that's why this block, the outer if block is treated as true block. The outer else block is treated as false block 1. Within we have true block 2, false block 2, true block 3 and false block 3. So let's check what happens if condition 1 is true or false. As we know, these conditions can be either true or false. If condition 1 is true, then this true block 1 will be executed. If condition 1 is true, then true block 1 will be executed. Within this true block 1, we are going to check for one more condition 2. Within this true block 1, we are going to check for one more condition 2. If condition 2 is true, then true block 2 is executed. If condition 2 is true, then true block 2 is executed. If condition 2 is false, then false block 2 is executed. If condition 2 is false, then the control directly comes to this else part, where it is going to execute the false block 2. So this happens when condition 1 is true. The control executes all the statements within true block 1 only when the condition 1 is true. What if the condition 1 is false? If condition 1 is false, then this true block 1 is not executed. When the condition 1 is false, the control directly comes to false block 1. Within this false block 1, we are going to check for one more condition 3. Within this false block 1, there is one more if else statement. So as I said, we can embed if else within a if or else or in both. So if within this else part, we are going to check for one more condition 3. So if this condition 3 is true, then true block 3 is executed. If condition 3 is false, then false block 3 is executed. So either this true block 1 is executed or false block 1 is executed. Either of these two blocks are executed and the program execution continues from statement X. Let's check the flowchart. So here the flowchart, again the same thing has been represented as a flowchart. We are going to check for the condition 1. If condition 1 is true, then we are going to check for condition 2. If condition 2 is true, then the statements are executed and the control execution continues from statement X. If condition 2 is false, then the false block statements are executed and the program execution continues from statement X. So this part is executed only when condition 1 is true. If condition 1 is false, then the other side of the flowchart is executed, where in the false section again we are going to check for condition 3. If condition 3 is true, then the true blocks are executed. If condition 3 is false, then the false statements are executed. And then as usual, the program execution continues from statement X. So the same thing has been explained here. If condition 1 is true, then true block 1 is executed. In true block 1, condition 2 is checked. If condition 2 is true, then true block 2 is executed, else false block 2 is executed. If condition 1 is false, then false block 1 is executed. In false block 1, condition 3 is checked. If condition 3 is true, then true block 3 is executed, else false block 3 is executed. And the program execution continues from statement X. So let's check the one of the example program. So this is a C program to find largest of three numbers using nested if-else statement. So the program is here. As this program is to check largest of three numbers, we have declared three numbers, number 1, number 2, number 3. All three numbers are of type integer. We are asking user to enter three numbers and we are reading three numbers. Next, so here we have nested if-else block. We are going to check whether number 1 is greater than number 2. If this condition is true, that is number 1 is greater than number 2, then within this if block we are going to check for one more condition, number 1 is greater than number 3. If this first condition number 1 greater than number 2 is true, then within this if block we are going to check for one more condition, that is number 1 greater than number 3. If the second condition number 1 greater than number 3 is true, then we are going to print a message that large is equal to number 1. If number 1 is greater than number 3, then it returns true. In that case, we are going to print the message that large is equal to number 1. Else, if this condition is false, number 1 greater than number 3, if this condition is false, then we are going to execute this else part where we are printing the message large is equal to number 3. So this if else is executed only when this number 1 greater than number 2 is true. If this number 1 greater than number 2 is false, what if this condition number 1 greater than number 2 is false? In that case, the control directly comes to the else part. Within this else part, again it is going to check for one more condition. If number 1 greater than number 2 is false, the control directly comes to else part. Within this else part, it is going to check whether number 2 is greater than number 3. If number 2 is greater than number 3, if this condition is true, then we are going to print the message large is equal to number 2. If number 2 greater than number 3 is false, then we are going to execute this else part where we are printing the message large is equal to number 3. So this is how the program executes to check the largest of three numbers. Let's check the output. So it is asking user to enter three numbers. So I'll enter some numbers like 20, 10 and 30. So the message is large is equal to 30. So let's check how it is executed. Number 20 is present in number 1, 10 is present in number 2, 30 is present in number 3. So we are going to check for the first condition 20 greater than 10. The number 1 is 20, number 2 is 10. Whether 20 greater than 10. Yes, the condition is true. 20 is greater than 10. So this first condition is true. When this condition is true, this if block is executed. Within this if block, we are going to check for one more condition. Number 1 is 20, number 3 is 30. It is going to check 20 greater than 30. 20 greater than 30, no, the condition is false. So this else part is executed where it is going to print large is equal to number 3. So the number 3 is 30. So it prints the message large is equal to 30. Let's check one more time by giving some different inputs. So the numbers are 45, 20 and 12. So large is equal to 45 is printed. So now the number 1 is 45, number 2 is 20, number 3 is 12. 45 greater than 20. condition is true, so it executes this, it enters into this if block where it is checked whether 45 is greater than 12. Yes, again the second condition is also true, 45 greater than 12, so it prints large is equal to 45. Let's check one more output. 16, 55 and 25. So large is equal to 55 is printed. So so here the number 1 is 16, number 2 is 55 and number 3 is 25. So number 1, 16 greater than 55, the condition is false. 16 greater than 55, the condition becomes false. When this first if condition is false, then the control directly comes to else part where it executes all the statements within this else part. Now here the number 2 is 55, number 3 is 25. Again it checks for the condition whether 55 is greater than 25. The condition is true, 55 is greater than 25. Therefore it prints the message large is equal to 55. So hence large is equal to 55 is printed. So this is how we are going to use nested if else in a program. These are the references. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.